Hello, welcome back to the Retro Robbins show. It's been about a month since my last one. Well, I've got plenty in this show for you today, but I will try and keep it as short as possible and indeed try and decrease the volume of the soundtracks behind me while I'm talking so you can actually hear what it is I've got to say. We're up to Crash issue number 41 and 42 because we're doing back-to-back issues now because the old Crash Smashes are getting a little bit rare. Yeah, not so many. And hopefully by the time this video released there's less than 2 weeks to go before the big day, or 2 days actually, for Crash Live in Kenilworth in November 15th and 16th, is it? I hope I've got that right now. We'll find out in the comments later. Yeah, I've got some Archimedes to have a look at, and you know me, I only will play real games on real hardware. I don't want to give you emulation or simulation of any type. I want to show you the games off the machines as they actually work. Just a principle thing there, because I think anything else anyone can do, but once you've got the real machine, it's something quite unique, and I hope it adds a little bit of flavour to this show too. I have a new channel called ZX Spectrum Arcade, and in that channel we're talking about games that could have been good enough for an arcade machine should the Spectrum have actually been released in the 78 or 77 era, when graphics were roughly the same capability of what the Spectrum was able to put out there. Oh, so I believe. There could be one or two other things there too. If we get time, I'll slap a couple of homebrew games in, but mainly today we'll be concentrating on the Crash Smashes. For Crash Smashes from issue number 41 and the Crash Smash from issue number 42. We'll take a look at both of those covers of the Crash in a minute as well. Lots of stuff going on with the Spectrum Next. I'm going to be doing more Spectrum Next stuff, hopefully with the help of Babs Arcade. In the meantime, let's take a look at those Crash covers. Wow, that's sinister, isn't it? It's predicting Barbarian, June 1987, issue number 41 of Crash would have only cost you £1. Wow, brilliant. That's rather a brutal scene for a, shall we say, teenage magazine. It's, don't know if that would actually get past the censors today, because quite frankly there's a lot of realistic looking blood. But that certainly wasn't top shelf material, but certainly would have predicted to be. On the front cover we got Barbarian, HYDROFOOL and some extras, but we always like to have a look through one or two of these wonderful pages. Yeah, that's pretty dark to say the least. Slap Biter, I played that recently, quite liked it. Found it a bit hard to get into. I was kind of enjoying it. If you're wondering why I'm looking over there, because I've got second monitor and it's where that is. That's £7.95 or £8.95. That's quite a bit. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the next page. Yeah, there's the index. Oh, this one we need to change it to a dual picture. So let me just do that. The Art of Games, Ocean, playing the winners. These are four fantastic games apparently, although I'm not so sure about Mario Brothers, but certainly Head Over Heels was a all-time classic and remade for the ZX Spectrum Next as well recently. The others, yeah, they're okay. I wouldn't say, I'm not so sure about the end one there. I don't even know what that is. I've not played that one, I don't think, but we'll come across that. But let's flick through one or two of the other pages. HYDROFOOL there, and then we go into the main index. If you flick through some of these great pages, I mean, it takes a Gunrunner. Always liked the way that loaded. I don't know if I was a fan of the game, but we come to our first Crash Smash, and only Crash Smash in this magazine. So this is why we're doing two, because unfortunately HYDROFOOL was the only Crash Smash there. £7.95. FTL was the producer. £7.95 would have been about $10.52 in the States, so you can get the equivalent roughly. Given inflation, that would be obviously more. That was back then. Right then, presentation at 84%, graphics 91%, playability 85%, okay, addictive quality is 90%, and value for money at 83%. That's not too bad, I suppose. Overall rating 90%. As I say, HYDROFOOL is one of those games that was a 3D isometric game, and lots of isometric games were coming out thick and fast, especially after Alienate and Night Law, and one or two others seem to follow the same. This game was kind of different to some isometric games because it had you was floating, so you didn't just walk across the ground and jump over objects. You could, like, you know, and you didn't get that from those screenshots. You couldn't really tell until you actually played the game, so it was kind of different. We'll come to playing that game and seeing if it stands the test of time in a minute, but we need to have a look through one or two other things in this magazine. Here we have a great page with Ghost Hunters on there, and that's a two-player game. One could play the target and the other one could play the character, where you go around sort of like a mansion collecting different things, and it's sort of in keeping with this this Halloween, if you like. Ghost Hunters, I actually quite enjoyed that game. I had a massive poke for that, so as you could cheat on it from this magazine as well, a later magazine, and I lent it to my friend Keith up the road there, because he had the original game. He wouldn't give me the magazine back, and we got into a bit of an argument about it, but eventually he posted it back through my door, and I you know, if I'd lost that magazine, I'd have been gutted because I'd have been one short of my entire collection, and I don't think he understood that at the time. But he wasn't with any malice, he just didn't have time to copy the poker. He wanted to keep the magazine. Well, a few pounds to me was quite a bit of money because I didn't have a lot when I was young, and I couldn't afford to lose magazines, so that's why I lent it to him. Fortunately, he didn't do anything nasty to it, he kept it intact. Beep beep! Roadrunner. That game never seemed to... I've got the dual copy there, but it always used to crash more than it loaded. It was a nice advert though, it certainly wanted to make you get the game. I've got the original, it's a dual case, one of those dual case games, and I still find I have problems loading to this day. Fortunately with TAP and TZX files or snapshots, it's there instantly nowadays. But the game was okay, I wasn't overly keen on it, certainly kept with the cartoon theme though. But here's one of the main reasons why I would be buying Crash magazines. Yes, it was for the fabulous playing tips, and if you had a multi-face one, you could put the pokes direct. We also got that poke for, well, LV the Same Monty, and I am playtesting LV the Same Monty. Not LV the Same Monty, but a Monty Mole game on the Quiet that's going to be coming out for the Spectrum next. But there we had the amazing map, which was brilliant. When you get maps, they really did help. However, I think we could do better than that nowadays. If somebody wants to make a better map of Saboteur 2, well, it looked like it was huge, didn't it, the game? But it was obviously... It's hard to explain how to get the maps right, you know? But it was just a guide to give you an idea where things was. There we got a couple of blank pages while it loads. More maps, the head over heels map. That was probably very useful. Worth printing out, so I might print that out to see if I can eventually solve the game. Games like that I find really difficult, but that was a fantastic map. It gives you an idea of where certain rooms lead to and how to get back to them. But yeah, I sort of used it as to mark out whether I visited this place or not. I love the look of that map, the Vintage Underworld. That would have been really interesting. I have not played that game. Could be an adventure, it is. So yeah, I love adventure maps. The only way to play a game is with a pre-rendered adventure map that somebody else has done to make things a lot simpler. Yeah, there was an awful lot of maps in this game. An awful lot of maps. What a fantastic game the Sentinel was. That was quite a big game and quite hard for me to play, but I've started getting into it now and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm actually enjoying this. It was on one of my shows previous, but it was a game that was unique, very atmospheric in the way it was, sort of haunting at times, and one of those odd games that just doesn't make any logic really, but it's like a chess game or a drafts game rolled in one, but more complicated in many respects and not so complicated in other respects, but still there's a bit of randomness about it. What a game. And then of course in the magazine you had the Jetman comic strip, Ultimate Play the Game comic strip, and these were something you either got into or you didn't, and we're having a bit of a deep dive in this particular magazine because we've never really done that before, so why not? Oh wow, I mean, yeah, if you bought the whole setup it would have been great, wouldn't it? But as I say, Spectrum Plus 2 with its own monitor, it almost looked Amstradish, if you know what I mean, but that looked great, didn't it? Everything there in one go. That made you want to get all of that system and get it all complete. That is the dream, or was the dream back in '87 for me. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford one. But a bit later on, I managed to get myself a Spectrum Plus 3, and I bypassed the Plus 2. But I did get a toast rack, as I previously mentioned, from a car boot sale for less than a tenner, I think it was. A bargain. And then there's this absolutely amazingly striking advert of, well, oh, she was lovely, to say the least. Every child's dream back in the day, but what a way to advertise a game. Sex certainly did sell. And as I said earlier, I didn't realise that Wolf, that was Wolf. I just never paid attention. 2 and 2 connected, that's a Gladiator from the series Gladiators. But before Gladiators, he was obviously modelling as the Barbarian on that particular game, which again left a little bit to be desired on the Spectrum, to be honest. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was brilliant. Right, let's get to seeing this loading game of HYDROFOOL. Great music in the background. Beeper music for a change. Richard Hollins did this for the game Down the Pipes. That also appeared on a Crash cover tape. Normal type loading at the moment. I don't see any loading screen, but when the loading screen comes down we'll have a look at it before we get on to the actual gameplay of HYDROFOOL. Can't remember the loading screen. I don't remember what it looks like. It's been that long ago. Should have looked it up. Don't you love the Spectrum loading? Don't you love the Spectrum beeper when properly used? Aha, now I remember it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool loading screen. Certainly would get you into the game. It's unique because it does look like it's underwater, hence the reason why. Not so sure about the fish though, it just feels a little bit misshapen, but then it's a cartoon sort of base character, so we don't need to be perfect. But you wouldn't be disappointed with that now, would you? Huh? Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'll give that a 9 out of 10, definitely. Great. It fills the entire screen. I'm not so sure about the boring old text at the bottom there. They could have done a bit more graphically with that. And they certainly haven't used the 2 bars at the bottom of there. They certainly just sort of put text in there. So perhaps they was a little bit lazy on that part. They could have made that screen slightly more. But still, it was 1987. So when the game loads, we get this. That is beeper, it's amplified beeper music, but it's also got a touch of what I would say a little bit of AY there. Also used in many other games, most Sweevo's World, Sweevo's World or Sweevo's World. Sweevo was weird. Was also used with this tune, but you know it's a common band tune music, isn't it? Okay, you get your starting points there. Heartbreak Hotel, depends how difficult you want to be. We can also use Kempston, keyboard, sound effects, or music could be selected. And that's not really that bad for a screen, is it? Do love the beeper music though, very awesome. Very nostalgic. Right, so let's return to sender. Go for A. And then, whoa, we're going to splash down. And we've got, because I've played the 1 to 8 version. See if I can get down to good that. Get over it. I forgot how to collect. Now, if you can see here, there's a gap that can tell you that you're moved into another room. And just like any other game, unless you, yeah, that's not what you want to be doing. I think you can use the shadow on the floor to avoid any nasties. I mean, the graphics are just amazing, aren't they? Oh! I'm a small, don't want to get back in the big fish. Oh, and he's followed me. He follows me into the room. Oh, wow. Right, okay. I seem to have trapped him for now. There's something up there. And forgot how to climb. Right, there's no exit. Oh, I've crashed into the little stalactite that's coming off the floor. Controls are a little bit hard to get to grips with, to be fair, and yeah, I should have seen with the shadow of the swimmer on the floor where I was going to hit there. But now he's gone and he's come back again. We can. Will he follow me around? Probably. No. Yeah, I need to get those little bubbles, by the way, to get you some oxygen, but you can also use them to go up the screen to float across things, which I didn't do in that case. Hopefully, let's see if I can actually get a... It's a way of jumping without jumping, if you know what I mean. So there we go. Where normally if I did that, I'd just crash into it. So yeah. So that's what I've got to do to get that object in that upper room. Once I can get past the big fish, I've got to use the bubble and sort of sweep across. There's a bubble here. Get over there. That's it. I've just lost my life to a wolffish. Great game, great overall music. It definitely deserved its 90%. I wouldn't change that for the world. I thought it was a brilliant game, but I just don't have the time to get into it like I used to. I've kind of forgotten all the things you could do. Yeah, that's about right with the scores. But imagine playing this on your toast rack and you had this AY tune. Because there was 1987, they were starting to use the AY as more, shall we say, complementary music in the background. You could still play the 48K Spectrum with sound effects, but the AY tune added a bit more atmosphere to it, and for that I thought it was slightly better on the 128K version than it would have been on the humble 48K on its own. I love the game, definitely worth 9 out of 10. Not easy, it's one of those isometric games, you either love them or you hate them, and I kind of like this one. Along with Alienate and Night Lord, those are my three go-to isometric games, and Sweebo's World, I like that as well, but that was just cute and a whole different. I didn't like The Last of the Mohicans, that was another isometric game. I could go through the list here. As always, please leave your comments in the comments below. Did you play this? What do you think? If you haven't played this, it's free on download from the Spectrum Computing website or the TZX archive, so you can readily grab yourself a copy of this and emulate it or play it on whatever system of your personal choice. I'm going to use the recording of the last game, HYDROFOOL, as part of my background music this time round. Yep, here we go. Issue number 42, July 1987, £1, and the Bond movie there is in full effect. We've got The Living Daylight, ZYNAPS, something about Peter Cook. I don't know what that's all about, but there's quite a bit going on in this magazine, to be quite honest with you. We're going to have a flick through one or two of the pages now, see what we can see. Yeah, there you go. What an advert that is. Certainly tanks out to you, doesn't it? Go for the usual invoice. Of course, we've got all of this, really, haven't we? That's the Wiz Mulburn House. Don't recall that, actually, but I will have to have a further look into it, investigate. Once again, a big advert for Gun Runner by Houston. First Crash Smash, $10 US and 57 cents is equivalent to £7.99 in English money, and this was a Crash Smash from Houston, based on a great shoot 'em up, ZYNAPS, and this got quite a good rating for a shoot 'em up because I wasn't giving out the best of ratings after R-Type, you know. That was a pretty tough one to follow, but yeah, we got 90% on presentation, and then we got was it 93% on graphics? Was it 93? Let me just research. I'm questioning that because I have written it down. Playability 92%, value, addictive qualities, no value for money on this rating. Addictive qualities 91%, overall rating was 91%. It's a fantastic shoot 'em up that we're going to play in a moment to see if it still stands the test of time. But I think I'm foreshadowing because I like this game, even though it's quite hard. Hard now, but not then. It's not ridiculously hard. I've played harder, believe me. Let's have a further breeze through this magazine. Breeze, even. Here's an interesting one I haven't seen. Mystery of the Nile. I would like to know what that's all about. Yeah, we've got a 2-pager there on the Atari 520 ST. Yeah, I was never impressed with the Atari ST. It was okay. And the same with the Amiga STM. But once again, oh, look at that. Some of the games that just spring out at you in this magazine. That was a fantastic looking advert, wasn't it? I mean, how many different fonts we used in that? I had to be careful what I say there. Oh, on screen we have to take a closer look at this. Yep, the shall we say the graphical experience of an art gallery in a magazine was the pixel art display. Well, I thought it was going to be a dual page, but you only got one page there. Some great pixel art there, including Max Headroom, a rather weird looking dragon. That was quite sinister scene at the bottom there. Sigma 7, oh, we got a dual package there. Deep Strike, Sigma 7 and Thanos. And there's that game again, that game I previously saw on an Ocean game. I think I may have played it. I need to go back, and we got Saboteur Fatworm on that side of things. That was a good write-up. I remember reading that back in the day. Yeah, it's all good so far. But guess what? This game is packed with playing tips of the right variety, and one of my favourite playing tips is coming up. The Poke for Star Raiders was a welcome addition. Rastakan, I had no idea what to do with the Sentinel. He had the codes there for you to carry on. Jack and the rings. That was not easy. Some great, but I think you can see what's coming up, can't you? Let's get that page as a dual page. The playing tip that really mattered was the mapper for Alvida St. Monte, displaying all their rooms in their wonderful glory. And there was always a couple of rooms that I just couldn't quite get to, even though I caught a plane there. I was trying to get back to a certain part of the map, couldn't get to it to collect all the money and get all the dosh so I could make it on my island and live in paradise. Paradise? Well, you know, finish the trilogy. Now, for those going to Crash Live this year, Peter Harrop, who this was his last one in the Monty series, started with Wanted Monty Mole, and he finished on a high note with this one with great AY music from Rob Hubbard. That was a handy map and a handy key to have to help me complete the game. What a fantastic game Alvida Say Monty was, and it was my first European experience in pixels, shall we say, as you got to travel around all those wonderful places while collecting as much dough as you can, getting on as many planes as you can, avoiding the amount of hazards that you needed to in order to collect enough dosh to get to your island. You'd see your island slowly build up, but that was fantastic. I love that. More maps, more pokes than ever before. And that pretty much sells it for this magazine, so let's get on with playing the game that was the only second only book Crash Smashing there. There was one other, and I think it was Killed Until Dead, but that's not in the spirit of the Retro Robbins show, because we like stuff a little bit more fast action and moving. I mean, the thing bounces back. Never understood what the music was about in that. It really was all over the place. Killed Until Dead, also a Crash Smash, but we can give it an honourable mention anyways. Bully US Gold. Never really played it, didn't really strike my interest because I was an all action type of kid, and adventure games and sort of text adventure games, they certainly wasn't my cup of tea. Anyway, let's have a look how this game loads. Yeah, more down the pipes I'm afraid, but I had to play this one. ZYNAPS Houston, it had that fastest loading screen I'd seen come up for a long time. Not a lot going on there, but it's still pretty well done. Loved the countdown timer, and a lot of Houston games had a loading lock like this, where you didn't get the border, but you had plenty to signify that it was loading. Gave you a very long countdown to tell you how long you had left, almost like a tape counter on the screen. By Dominic Robertson. Okay. The use of the colours in this game and the playability is fantastic, but I'm hoping that I've still got some of those silky skills I had as a young teenager and be able to show you playing this without teasing the game up with some cheats. Who am I trying to kid? Let's get some cheats in action. Yeah, we've not got long left. I don't think that's going to take too long now before it loads, so I'm going to get rid of the music in the background because we're not going to need that, I'm afraid, because we want to hear the sound effects on this game, and that will just overwrite them, because there's not much to it in the way of sound, but there is sound that's worth listening to. And we're loaded. Music by Steve Turner, graphics all there. Dominic Robertson and Steve Carew. I'm not sure if this game had a demo on it. I think it did. I think it had a demo. But it's very 48k Spectrum-ish. And a lot of them had that font where they took a line of pixels across and just made it disappear. Yeah, and there we go, the high school. So do we have a demo? That'll be interesting to see. Which either we get to player 1 or player 2, but we're going to go, hopefully, we should be able to go with Kempston. I don't know if it was Kempston. Get ready, player 1 for combat. Yep, Kempston straight away. Hold down the button to collect your power-ups, and then... I mean, look at the graphics in this. I think the sound effects made the game all just a bit in the nick of time there. Yeah, I've got automatic cheats on, by the way, yeah, because I can show you more of this game. The graphics were fantastic. The speed of the scrolling though was what really impressive, because it was very smooth scrolling. The backgrounds were always variable and changeable. Not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. These were always the hardest ones to get, weren't they? Because they're sort of halfway in a platform and you can crash into the platform and die, which is something you don't really want to do. And I think that was it. That was the first level completed pretty quickly. But it's easy when you got cheats. And then you had this level, which was the asteroid avoidance level, which I really thought you couldn't destroy the asteroids, but your avoidance skills were certainly tested. And then it changed to having this was one of them that I could probably say was good enough to be an arcade game if it had come out, you know, from the Spectrum. Whether it was actually an arcade game in real life, I couldn't tell you. I think it was. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure someone will notify that this was probably based on an arcade game, but it certainly wasn't in the quality of R-Type. But it wasn't bad either, you know, for a shoot 'em up. The shoot 'em ups would have been done and done and done again by now. So for this to get a Crash Smash was quite an achievement. It helps because your rate of fire is not this fast to start with. You have to earn that rate of fire. You know, the only way to play these games is with testing them up, I think. As you get older you can't do them, but you can still enjoy them for what they was. There's a lot of coding going on here, a lot of great graphical design. Even by the way that some stars are moving faster than others. You know, you've got ones that are moving across the screen in the background real slow, representing the distance. And others that are flying past really quickly. There was about 4 levels of stars there. And I never understood what the bubbles were representing here. Do you get bubbles in space? Surely the vacuum of space wouldn't allow that. They were just objects flying past, weren't they? But then I suppose this was an alien section of space, wasn't it? Yeah. What did that... You know that ship itself? It sort of reminded me of the Liberator from Blake 7. It had a similar sort of shape to it. It just needed that round ball at the back. I don't know, where's it me, or is it my imagination taking me to a place that doesn't exist? Wow, I just enjoy being invincible. It's great because this game had me over a long time. When I was a kid, I could get probably to the 3rd level before pegging out. You didn't get continues them days. You either had to be good or you didn't get nowhere. And yeah. I don't know, I think it's dated. Do you reckon? Do you think it's dated? I think it's sort of dated now. It doesn't stand the test of time like it would have done. But that was certainly one huge sprite going across the screen. That's probably one of the most impressive sprites, and I mean once you get close to beating it, it'll start bouncing backwards and forwards. And not on this occasion, I managed to get through that level. And levels do get very interesting. They're never the same. I mean this, I thought this was amazing. The graphics on this level. Talk about making a level distinctive and different to any other level. This was certainly out there. I think it had about 7 levels, was it? I'm flying through rocks. You shouldn't be able to do that. That's normally death. You have to find the right passageway, but, you know, it's my show, I can cheat if I want to. Imagine that, going down there, up there, and finding you've got a rock in the way. And then, just to top it all off, you had a few asteroids to avoid and homing missiles that fired at you. Missiles that actually shoot bullets, look. That's just something else, isn't it? Next level. Shoot bullets, shoot at you, rather. I think this is the one with 3 enemies at the end. This is the level that used to get me. Yeah, 2 enemies. Yeah, they sort of lunge at you if you weren't careful. Yeah, we'll go for one more level and then we'll call it quits. But yeah, it's another asteroids avoidance. It's a sort of way of adding extra levels without having to do any extra coding where you repeat the same level again. It's a little bit lazy, but you know, there's only so much you can do with 48k, so I suppose to make a game a little bit longer than normal, you get a lot of levels that sort of repeated themselves. Probably change 1 or 2 of the different sprites, or shall we say graphical characters that appeared on the screen. You see what I mean about the stars? It adds like a background to a Spectrum game instead of black, which, you know, you don't get any colour clash because the blacking out is in effect there. I wonder how many times I'd have actually really died on this game. Oh, it's a long level. There's always one that gets away, isn't there? And there we go. Is this the triple baddies? They're just homing in on me. Whew, that was intense. Yeah. I'll be back to bubble levels. Yeah, there's a lot of levels that just repeat themselves. Anyway, let's give it a say. I don't think it was worthy of a crash smash, because there was a lot of stuff that repeated itself, and then of course you get a new level if you could get past all of these levels. But yeah, it was a great game. I'd say 8 out of 10. 80% would have been a more fair reflection. I don't think it would have been a crash smash. Don't think it stands the test of time. It's good, but it's not a great shoot 'em up. There are plenty of others out there that do just as well as this, but still I thought it was pretty good. When I played it, it was probably due a crash smash. But for me now, no. 8 out of 10, that's the best I can do. An interesting little question puzzle type game. Sinclair Tower. We've got to try and get to the top of the tower and recover whatever it is we need to recover. It's a strange type of isometric game where you're not really in control other than you choose a direction. Right, we can set the difficulty, which, you know, I'll do. You got between easy peasy, so, not mercy, no mercy. Controls, I'll go with the good old-fashioned Kempston here, and then we'll play a new game. So, this will tell you what you need to do. Basically, you'll get chests in every room. Some will give you an extra life, some will give you extra time, others just basically ask you a question. Yes, you'll get the concept of it in a minute. Let's have a go, shall we? Problem is with this, you don't seem to get a very fast reply when you press the key. press any key. Okay, I am. There we go, level 1. So you start at the crossroads. Those 2 feet is it's asking you which direction you want to go. Let's go left, shall we? We got a heart. We've already got 4, so that doesn't really matter. That blue scale on the side is our time. We've got another heart, so we're doing all right at the moment. Ah, and we lost a heart. Okay. We got the heart back. And I think the rooms and the questions are randomly generated. Extra time? Well, we had enough time anyways. And finally we get to our question. Right, in which game is a side-scrolling shooter where you have to rescue your kidnapped family? So, is it A, Midnight Resistance, Green Beret or Rolling Thunder? I believe it's Midnight Resistance. Yeah, right. Okay, let's get on with the next one then. Come to another question. Let's have a look. Which game puts you in control of a motorbike racing across? Let's have a look. We got Death Chase. Well, hang on a minute. You know, it's definitely not the last one. It could be Enduro Racer, but we'll go Death Chase. Right. Okay. Didn't need to read all the question. I'll leave that to you. Moving on then. We found a key that might be useful later on. We've only got 1 key at the moment, but we've got another question to go through just yet. Oh, okay. Ah, see, I've got one wrong. So I lose a life, but you get to continue. So we don't want to lose too many lives, but we do want to get a move on. And there we got to face with another question, shall we? In which 1983 shooter by Ultimate play the game? Well, it's obviously Jetpack, isn't it? Yeah, okay. And we don't want to go back on ourselves. Once again, another question. We need hearts, really, don't we? In which ZX Spectrum game puts you in the role of a cyborg police officer? Terminator 2, was it? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I wouldn't, you know, I know the answer to that. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Shut up, emo. Question after question after question, but still no near to escaping. Right, which British company developed the Space Elite? Was that not Acorn Soft? Wrong? Just remember it on the BBC, that's all. Which British company developed the Space Elite? Okay, I got one wrong. It happens, you know. Get over it. Can I have a heart? Can I have time? Oh. The ZX Spectrum. It wasn't Imagine. I'll go. Yes. It definitely wasn't Imagine. They'd gone by then, weren't they? So, okay. Which game published by Microsphere was the first sequel? Oh, Back to School. Yeah, okay. That was an easy question. More questions. I need time. Oh, what an easy question that is. Who doesn't know that one? Yeah, so perhaps I should have picked a harder skill level than I actually have. But I like the questions easy, because it's not that hard, is it really? Oh, right. I would not think... Was it... Chase HQ was an ocean. It was ocean. Well, according to that it was. Not necessarily right, it all depends whether they've done their research. I'm out of time, so I've got the gate there. Yes! I've only escaped. Congratulations, you've done it. Clear level 1. And now all I've got to do is try and clear level 2. Should we go right this time? We went left last time, we'll go right this time. So the question should get slightly harder. Which Spectrum game features 2 characters which head over heels? Yeah, puzzle solver, isn't it? So yeah, okay, cool. Gotta be careful because it looks like I'm about to go around in a circle, which I have done. Oh, should I get it wrong? Got plenty. As you can see, my time's going down quite quickly. We're having a good play at this, aren't we? Hopefully, we won't be going around in circles. Strategy. Oh. I skipped too far. I thought I was on the middle one. That's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. Oh, come on. You got these. If you're a Spectrum guy, you're not going to get this sort of question wrong. Maybe I should have tried it on harder. Extra time, that's exactly what I needed, but not by much, it's only giving me 1. And we lose a heart. Fantastic, we don't want too many of them. We got a question. I haven't found a key yet. Was it really? I'd say Nightlaw. You see, the thing is though, Saberwolf was meant to be a 3D game in its own way. If you look at it carefully, the background's meant to look a bit smaller. Extra time that's required. Where's my key? Extra heart, that's okay, I need a key. Oh, so much for the extra heart. Coming up with a question. Worldwide distribution. Eh? Oh dear. Well, I'm at a dead end and that can happen. When that happens, you use up a lot of time. When you're back in the screen, you don't necessarily go back over the boxes that you've already hit. They don't always appear when you hit that time, that's good. Well, there we go. We can't go that way because we need a key, but we need to find the key. Yes, I know that, so shut up and get on with looking for the key. More questions. Well, just guess one. I don't care if I get them wrong now. I just want to get this game over with. It's going on too long. That should just go back around in a circle, should it not? Yeah, we've been down here, so. I think we need to go back the way we came. Yeah. Star Strike. Oh. Planet. Yeah, I don't care if I get them wrong now. Past caring. I just want my key so I can move on to my next level. Right, which company was the popular for the lens lock system, was it? The Duplo? I don't know what it means. Don't know what it meant. Out of Lives. Strange game, but good in a way. I was kind of rushing there, and I didn't really even want to bother reading the questions towards the end because it was going on for a bit too long. But yeah, it's an isometric game where you're basically just answering questions and you're choosing directions. So in a way, it was okay, but it's got a very big random element about it. I'd give that a 7 out of 10, to be honest, because it's something different. It's something I don't normally play, and as a one-off play, and because it's Halloween, it's kind of in-fitting. So yeah, or was Halloween. By the time this is released, it's going to be past Halloween. 7 out of 10. Oh, C-Man. Yeah, that's the loading screen. We're going to get another Pac-Man game, aren't we? And unfortunately, after Midnight Brew's recent Pac-Man, which was untouchable by quality and standard, we have to put out with this thing, which it has its own charm, I suppose, if we can get into playing it. It feels very basic. But yeah, it's not basic because you got smooth scrolling, but it gives that illusion that it is. I mean, I'm doing okay considering I didn't press up, and that's why I ended up carrying on. But let's turn that beeper down a little bit, shall we? Don't know if it's me or the controller just doesn't seem to want to. Yeah, there is a plus that you actually get time to get to the ghosts before they change. But I feel like there's just a bit of a lag when you're trying to move around bends, and it just... Maybe it's because I should be using keyboard rather... Yeah, I'll try keyboard. It's going to be the usual QAOP. Just the same old directions. It automatically selects Kempston for you. See, yeah, I think this game is definitely better on keys. Either that or my joystick needs charging. But yeah, no, it's not for me. I've got that fantastic arcade conversion that Midnight Brew did, the Pac-Man game with proper AI. It's okay though, and it's fairly new. So extras at 10,000 and 30,000, whatever that means. Anyway, I'd say 5.5 out of 10. That's the best I'm going to give that. Magic Adventures is the next game that we've got up on the screen, and that loading screen there is absolutely lovely. It's almost pixelated with deliberate gaps in between the pixels, so there's nothing solid together apart from his hands and his face, and I kind of think it's good. And the ring itself, the green ring itself, a little spectrum emblem there. Now, growing up, anything to do with Merlin, magic or wizards, I kind of liked, because I was into that sort of things. I fancied myself as a bit of a wizard. Unfortunately, I've turned into a bit of a nothing, but you know, still. I certainly don't know how to make tea lately. That's a little bit too milky. Anyway, I've just broke into the game, so let's have a list. This is unscheduled, so yeah. CLS. There we go. Right, so we're just going to go to 60. Okay, we can break into the game that easy. It's a bit, you know, nonsense in basic. I've got to reload this, haven't I? These things actually happen, but you know, it's a good job in this day and age that I'll remember not to hit space, and you should do too. Right, nice loading screen, as I said previously, and we are loaded. Okay, so it tells you a little bit here on what it is you've got to do in the game. I'll give you a chance to pause that while I have a cup of my milky tea, which was meant to be Yorkshire tea, but I put a bit too much milk in it. I digress. And gives you a chance to pause it so you can read all this if you wish. Or if you're a fast reader, you're probably read it all already, but I'm reading it myself and I'm thinking, well, I don't want to read it out loud. Let you do the work. I'll save my voice. Right, the keys are strange, aren't they? QA, OP, or sorry, OPQA, but space to fire I don't like, and escape is space, jump space, sorry, and pause is X. Well, let's go with Kempston and taking a run. So fire and jump is separate now. Yeah, okay. We've only got a certain amount of weapons we can fire. That green thing is deadly then. Okay. Let's see how far we can get before we end up dying too often. But I want to get to that bag at the top there, and that's the goal. But there's a lot of things moving around on the screen. Now I do like the look of the graphics on this game. Okay, now we've done that, we don't have to kill absolutely everything, because by doing lots of shooting and you using up your energy. For instance, we can go into the water and we can kill the piranhas and the sharks. But I'd rather just do enough. We can kill that sort of nasty looking plant there. Just do enough to make sure that our way is clear, if you like. And we got that magic. Yeah, it's graphically quite nice, isn't it, to be honest. So this looks like it could be a tricky screen. I think the ghost is bouncing more or less off and on the ladder, so... And now we've got two ghosts up there, so they're going to be trapped. So now that's collected, there's no need for us to stop in this section for much longer than we need to. But we're going to need to... Yeah, okay. Goodness me, there's lots there. There's a green bush, that little green bush will kill you. Now I'm liking the... There's only a couple of animations in each one of the sprites, but they're rather well done. As I say, I'm not going to kill absolutely everything. You've only got a certain amount of height on the jump as well, so it's best not to waste that. Oh, this could be tricky. Right, we're down to a lot less than what we want. Now that's a lift, so if I can get on the lift I can get some firepower back. But at the same time I need to be mindful about... And yeah, as I say, you're pointless wasting your bullets, killing absolutely everything on the screen. I like the fact that we got the top level here. And yeah, there's plenty of variation in sprites. For those that sprites are what they use for the graphical characters, it's the terminology for that. But yeah, okay, we've lost one life, but we start on the screen that we died on. And I think it's because I landed on that spiky bush there that I died last time. And I can see there's another spiky bush there, so can we jump through the tree? Yeah. Oh, he travels through that spiky bush, does he? I've only got one. I've got no firepower, so I've got to really time this well. And I've got no jump. And I'm done for... Oh no, I have got jump. It just seemed to be a bit delayed. Yeah, there's something about the jump power that seems to deplete quite quickly. Yeah. Oh. I'm making so many bad mistakes here, but it's forgivingly giving me some jump back. I'm not going to go that way because it wasn't ending well for me. I can't see any way of collecting any more. Now, is that something you can travel on? Oof. Oh, I missed it. Game over. I'll tell you what, that wasn't bad. That's not a bad game at all, to be fair. It's a bit quiet. It could do with some AY sound just to break it up a little bit. Perhaps I should have put someone in the background and I failed to do so. But yeah, I thought, okay, I'm going to give that a 6.5 to 7 out. I'll say 7 out of 10. Let's just round it up to 7 out of 10 for quality of a platforming game. It's nice to be able to. It starts off quite brutal, by the way. You know, you've got to be on your toes when you start on that starting screen, else you'll lose lots of lives pretty quickly, because that first baddie comes heading straight your way. So you immediately have to move to the left. That caught me out a few times, and it probably will catch you out too. But generally speaking, that's not bad at all. I certainly love the loading screen. So as promised, I thought I'd bring you a little something different, and today's computer of choice is the mighty Acorn Archimedes. Now, I like to play these things on original hardware, and as you can see, the Acorn Archimedes kind of booting up there. This part my capture card can handle. Then when I boot into games, it can't handle it for some unknown reason, and we lose resolution and we lose the actual capture card. So I'm going to go old school on this, as I'll show you one or two great games to a system I'm not very familiar with, but I've been wanting for a very, very long time. Finally, thanks to a good friend, I've come across one, and he's let me get to keep it, which is even better. It's a beautiful machine. The one that I've got here is a fantastic example, is the A3010. Now, because I've got the original hardware, I'm able to play games with the Acorn Archimedes and show you what this machine was truly capable of. Remember, this machine is probably the forerunner to the ARM chip technology that is in most computers and phones nowadays. Yes, the architecture was first trialled on the Archimedes range of computers, and quite a mighty and powerful computer it is too. Let me show you the Archimedes itself. And you get to see a little bit of my setup there, the computer underneath there. It's actually resting on top of the Sinclair ZX Spectrum Next Issue 2, but don't worry, there's a dust cover and all sorts over that to protect it. But as you can imagine, it's a beautiful. Also available with the red keys, the slightly extended back to the red key version, which I've had the mispleasure of trying to repair recently, and it ended up having to go off to Ian at Mutant Caterpillar. I can get it working, I just couldn't do the keyboard connector bit, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, they're a membrane keyboard underneath these chiclet keys. Anyway, let's go back to the Archimedes itself. This is the display that we're going to try and capture today. Hopefully you'll get to see the picture. Unfortunately, it's just simply a camera pointing straight to the screen. And because it changes aspect ratio depending on which game you play, it's an amazing machine actually. A very capable machine with some great sound, under-neutralised when it comes to sound. So the first game I was going to show you is one of the most famous ones apparently for the Archimedes. But I didn't get to play on it before, so I get to show you the game. I'm not going to play it, but I will let you see the demo. A lot of these games don't have title music, but then when the actual game starts, you get in-game music, or you get in-game sound effects, which is really odd considering the sound that can come out of the Archimedes is really quite nice and pleasurable. As you can see, we're loading up quite a big file, so it takes a long time, and I've got quite a range of games I can probably put on Retro Robbins show at a later date. Possibly not Lemmings. Sorry, Mike. But maybe so. I mean, Zul's the definite game I haven't really got to play on the Archimedes, but it's a great game on the Amiga, so it's going to take some beating. There we go, starting with the demo. It's Zarsh. And this shows the capability of what the machine could do. I mean, you take this back from when it was actually released. Look at the way it's rendering those graphics. And a lot of machines just wasn't capable of doing this back in the day. And it's the speed that it's scrolling across, and you know, it's giving you a full map, and you can see the map in the top corner. If it wasn't so bright outside, you would be able to, that's for sure. Let's see if we can turn the lights down a little bit. See, that helps. Not really, not by much, but yeah. Yeah. Shut up, Emo. I was talking. Anyways, what a fantastic looking game that is. That's Zarsh, but that's not the game that we're going to play today. In fact, we're going to play something quite different. Hopefully you can hear the music kicking in. Right, a little bit bright on the screen. I've done my best to try and darken that down a little bit. So, S42 Development are the one responsible for this game. Let me take a sip of my fantastic Pepsi Max. The game is called... Right, with this game you can have sound effects or you can have music in the game. You get to choose one or two. I preferred, I could have both options, sound effect and music, but no, you can only get really that. We'll choose track one because I find that pretty good. Please wait, it is loading, and it is loaded. Fantastic little title screen then. Here we go. You're a little trapeze clown on a one of those single wheel cycle bikes things. Oh, and it remembers my scores from last time, so you can see I've had quite a few goes on this. Why? Because it's so hellishly hard and very addictive. Now I wished I could have got this to work on the capture card, but I'll show you what happens with the capture card if I was to remove the front camera off your screen. That's all I'm getting at the moment, which is a shame because it's coming through VGA capture card, but it just can't seem to grasp the frame rate. This is because even though it'll, shall we say, capture the first part of the Archimedes, certain games boot in different aspect ratio, and it doesn't able to adapt and change on the fly. Probably a more expensive capture card, which I can't quite afford at the moment yet, would probably be able to get around that issue for me. In the meantime, it's just a case of pointing the camera at the front screen and giving you this. And we don't want to just give you that. We want to play the game. So I've redivided my key separately, and all we got to do now is press space and we can start the game. Music changes. In fact, I could probably do with turning that up a touch, couldn't I? That'll do. Right, you're this, yeah. If you jump fast, oh, I don't want to do that. I've skipped straight to another level. Don't want to skip straight to another level. But that's good to know. Good to know. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to reset this and show you from the start. Right, if I go through the door, which has just appeared, that's how far I can get back to the levels that I got to before, but that wouldn't be no fun. Ah, right, I forgot to press jump. So we've got to jump the gaps, time them well, avoid anything that moves. It's quite dangerous. It's a momentum game. Doors will appear where those are. Clouds can be getting in your way, and worms are annoyingly fast. But there's some absolutely fantastic sprite work in this. Elephants might fly, not pigs. Frog always catches me out. I noticed with this game, it's very, very, very nicely done. Full of glorious colours all around the screen. And it feels quite childish to start with, but believe me, this is no easy game at all. It's quite addictive, it's quite hard. There is a fire key, but you don't get to fire until a later stage. At the moment, it's just a 3-key game. A little tricky 3-key game at that, because you only have to have the merest contact with some of these and you can lose your life. Like, I've got away with it twice there. Hopefully we've got past the first section. Yeah, we'll start from where that flag is. Bounce on the question mark and it will reveal, sorry, headbutt where there's a question mark and it will reveal a gem. So if I press that and press jump, there's my gem. Same again, press that, press jump, there's my gem. See the walking hands across the top? They always catch me out because you can't see much of them. So I've learned to play that safe. There we go. Big 250 bonus points for that. And we're off to a flying start because we've completed the first level. Oh, yeah, unlucky indeed, or rubbish is the word you're looking for. These slugs aren't exactly slow, you know, so don't be fooled for a minute. Checkpoint! This can be tricky. Those planes are red, but these platforms that you have to go up as well. And remember, it's a momentum game, so you've just got to remember to jump, and that's what can happen. Right there. Oh, and of course, yeah. This is quite difficult. Intense concentration. So much so I can't even speak properly. See if I can get that question mark I have. It's a milk bottle of some sort. Now if I go through there I can find myself another level, but I don't want to. I want to see if I can get to the bonus stage. There's my extra life. Great stuff. To get to a bonus stage on this game you have to really earn it. And there goes my extra life. Not such great stuff. Oh, Wayne, you're just blowing it straight away. Right. Oh no, really? Well, that's about all you're going to see out of the Acorn Archimedes for today, but you have to admire it for being such a great system. I don't think that's quite true. I've had to turn all the lights off for you to get the best capture card experience. The Acorn Archimedes, and a great game there, and you can see the amount of times I've been playing recently. Yeah, I did have a little practice before we got the recording going, but you actually get to see an Archimedes game in action on the Retro Robbins show. I hope you enjoyed that section. There'll be more like that to come. Last game of the day, and something to end on that's quite difficult, quite tricky. Yes, we've just missed Halloween and now I'm going to play this game. On this game I highly recommend you use redefinable keys. It starts with a fantastic AY tune and the loading screen is nothing to be sniffed at either. Left, right, up and down and jump are all the keys that you're going to need. In my case, yeah, they've got a bit of a continuity problem here. A game by Steve Tyson, 2025 version 1.2. So it's got a ghostly theme and then you put this music in. That just doesn't seem to fit right, does it? I mean, it's a good AY tune, but it just doesn't fit right. This is more like circus music than it is Anyway, let's try playing the game. I've rambled on enough. Right, we're here with this skeleton here. We've got bats, and we've just got to try and get to that switch in order to open the barrier to get to the gold. That is going to sound easy, but believe me, this game is anything but easy. It's as hard as nails. Now, I've had plenty of chances to practice this. You need pixel perfect jumps, and you need to be like spot on, else you will lose a lot of lives very fast. Hopefully. Now, when I tell you that the first screen is possibly the easy screen, I've got hardly any time at all to get between now. I'm already about to lose my first go with lots of lives. So I jumped, but yeah, the momentum of the jump is tricky. Now I will suffer trying to get off this first screen, but once I get off the first screen I should be okay. You can land in between those two. There we go, that's what I wanted to do, and I've only left myself one life to do it. Now watch the bat. And don't lose your life getting to this section. This bit, getting out's a bit easier than actually getting up to that switch. Thankfully, I've got off the first level. And I mean, let's be honest, I've got to get off the second level, so I'm going to need to play this a bit more. Yeah, if you notice I've got more lives, that's because I went back and did the first section again. You wouldn't have noticed it's a little bit of thing called editing. Now, you've only got a certain amount of time to get to that globe, and if you don't get there it will disappear and it'll be gone for good, but it's handy to try and get to that globe. And look at that, that's just evil. Got to the globe and it disappeared on me. And boy, was I not kidding when I said this game is really hard. Concentration, intense concentration. Oh, crying out loud! I just walked slightly back, 1 pixel, and it killed me. And I'm down to 1 life, which is really annoying. And that's... no! I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to get back to that section, and you're going to not see that any of this ever happened. With 3, 2, 1... no, it didn't work. 3, 2, 1... Okay, I'm back here. This is not easy because I've got to sort of drop, and if I press left too early I always catch the spike, so you're going to be... and then we get past that level. Yeah, so I managed to get to another level. I can actually show you, trust me, there was lots of pain and agony in the background when I was trying to complete this game. It took me a long time actually to find out how to get to that switch. First of all, I was jumping through this gap there and trying to land, but I found that there's an easier solution to that. And that's not to land on that bloody ledge. Jump like the Dickens. No, TJ, this is well above your level of skill. I should give TJ a challenge, see if he can actually get this far. Okay, yeah, a lot of the graphics are all the same, but we've made it to another level. This is level 4, is it? Level 4? Where, hey? Now this looks evil. Oh, it dropped faster than I thought. Oh, well done. well done. Great music, great AY sound, but I'll tell you what, that is evil. Absolutely evil as a game to try and complete, because it's so rock solid. There's no continued states, there's no extra lives, you only get what you're given, and you can lose your lives so quickly. Sometimes you can get past the first screen quite comfortably, other times you find that you cannot get past that first screen and you only get past with one life remaining. You think, what chance have you got? But then all of a sudden you go 2 or 3 screens and you're thinking, great, there's a chance I'm going to get further than that, and then all of a sudden, no, it doesn't work that way. The game is way too hard, but it's strangely addictive. Because it's so hard, you try and you try and you try again, and you get the hang of getting better at these things, but it's not one for playing when you're a little bit tired, let's put it that way. Anyway, on that note, I think we can reset this. It's time to end the show. Yeah, good selection of games. Did like the Acorn Archimedes stuff I've thrown in there. Hope you enjoyed that too. I do like to play these things, once again, on original hardware. I know it's been a while since my last show, but believe me, when you got other people doing crash content, it sort of breaks your spirit a little bit when you was the first. But, you know, it does a good show, the competitors do. But I will return with more Retro Robbins. We've up to two dual crashes today, and we're going to try and keep with that theme of getting 2 crashes in every month or every 2 weeks, depending on that. If you're going to Crash Live, I hope to see you there. Believe me, it's going to be a lot of hard work. I've been repairing lots and lots of computers, as you can imagine, recapping and getting them all ready for you to have a butcher's on, as well as 1 or 2 other games that I'm going to be taking to make it so you've got a great day. There's plenty of guests, plenty of talks, chances for you to get some great signatures, and even the person that did, Monty Mole himself, will be there, and I'm really looking forward to actually meeting him, Peter Harrop himself. He's quite a reserved and shy person, I've been told, but believe me, when he goes there and he feels the love of the retro community that love the Spectrum as much as me and you do, then he'll want to come back for more, just like many of them have done before. So, in the meantime, depending on when you watch this, you all have a nice working week or weekend, and I'll catch you again soon on the next Retro Robbins show, which shouldn't be too far away. And I shall also be doing lots of thick and fast even, ZX Arcade, my extra new channel. Please hit the like, share and subscribe button on that one, and this one too. If you did enjoy the show, thank you for sticking with me for so long, and if you didn't enjoy the show, thank you for sticking with me so long. Anyway, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go. See you again soon. Take care for now. Bye.
In our hearts, from Sinclair to Commodore, where do we start? 8-bit computing in the modern age, where vintage computers take center stage. It's the Retro Robbins show, Retro Robbins show. Plug in a joystick and let the good vibes grow. The Retro Robbins show, go live, subscribe, stay in the know. We've got reviews and gaming vibes. We do upgrades and repairs, all of it live. So come to the channel and just drop in. Take off your hat, let the show begin. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. It's the Retro Robbins show, Retro Robbins show. Plug in your computer, let the good vibes grow. The Retro Robbins show, go live, subscribe, stay in the know. Oh yeah, take it away. it away.